When you think about the question of where are the aliens, which I get asked a lot, this is like the Fermi paradox. Where are the aliens?
We're looking at a spacecraft system designed to take a man to Mars. That is something we've never done before. In this episode, we will discuss what his different speculations regarding the timelines for Starship were, what happened during the fifth flight test, and how his frame of reference compares to the reality. Were the results from the test what Musk was expecting? Are we in fact closer to Mars? Let's see. Elon Musk's predictions for Starship. Elon Musk's set out to make a difference not only in Earth, but on planet Mars too, through the creation of SpaceX Starship spacecraft. Musk was the first one who formulated visions of placing people and carrying out commercial flights within a people-friendly Mars orbit. It incorporates very ambitious plans to create a fully reusable interplanetary spacecraft system aimed at delivering humans to the surfaces of Mars, the Moon, and various other celestial bodies. It is also expected that the spacecraft will be able to transfer cargo deep into the solar system. Musk has a very solid fan base, and that can be linked to his predictions coming true. In one of his earlier social media posts, Musk set 2020 as a target for Starship's maiden orbital flight, which was backed up by highly articulated engineering and design. In fact, achieving success in this time frame would have allowed SpaceX to boost the timing of interplanetary missions, achieving the first manned flight already in the mid-2020s time frame. Even though these aims have experienced setbacks, the iterative pace of SpaceX's activities keeps extending the possibilities of what can be done. We have had an indication of how Musk's views on safety and performance targets have focused his efforts, when he tweeted, "The ultimate goal is to make Starship safe enough for anyone to fly, of course. So many other engineering challenges need to be addressed, such as engine reliability and aerodynamic accuracy for interplanetary flights." Now, how does the fifth test fit into these expectations? Let's dissect the issue more thoroughly. The fifth flight test, a recap. Fifth spaceship Starship flight test was an important milestone for the spaceship development by SpaceX. Overall objectives of the test were to assess the functioning of its Raptor engines, check the stabilization of the vehicle in the course of its climbing, and improve its re-entry and landing practices. This trial was also meant to extend the parameters of altitude and control precision in comparison with the previous flights. The launch went absolutely perfect. All engines fired up, and the spacecraft climbed steadily. During the flight, the signature position flip maneuver was performed, which showcased the Starship's aerodynamic control, a crucial characteristic needed for its future flights when it re-enters Earth or Mars' atmosphere. Despite the fact that the test results were encouraging, they also planned certain limitations. Even if the landing phase left some problems behind, the engine performance was registered as enhanced. But as is the case with the iterative approach SpaceX employs, learning from such moments is what it is all about. The fifth test saw clear improvement in stability and the engine performance's efficiency when compared to earlier flights. Musk has often said, "The key to success is failure," and as always, this flight demonstrated for the nth time the trial and error method with which SpaceX works on improving its technology. Most importantly, this test is well in line with Musk's further plans. The test confirmed the capability of Starship to operate in a high-altitude environment and added to the spacecraft's reusability potential, which is its primary objective if SpaceX is to reduce the costs of interplanetary flights. Step by step, with every flight, SpaceX comes closer to fulfilling Musk's audacious timeline. Comparing predictions with reality. In terms of performance, it is safe to say that a lot of milestones envisioned by Elon Musk were achieved with the fifth Starship flight. Improvements in Raptor engines' reliability were noticeable, and the flip maneuver, an important part of re-entry controlled maneuver, was performed impeccably. Still, the landing phase of the mission was largely unsuccessful, leaving some aspects of the final descent control system unaddressed. I believe it would take 4 years to get there, that is, for Starship to be capable of flying. But here we are, still doing suborbital and high-altitude hops, even though Musk intended for the Starship to be in full operational mode by 2020. Any of the delays, while regrettable, are easy to accept considering the novel challenge that is constructing Soil, your next-generation fully reusable spacecrafts. Said no one ever that space travel is something of this scale and ambition. Musk's plans may seem overly ambitious, but there needs to be a reason to develop, and develop quickly as SpaceX does. These include perfecting Apple's energy systems, engineering refining efficiency, and constructing heat shield materials or reusing systems. But those are only delays. Every promise has brought closer the target. And yes, Musk does often reminds us with a quote that, if the deadlines are not moving anywhere, it does not require any out-of-box thinking or being very ambitious. The trends highlight important truths which allow to explain setbacks, but give more weight to the successes. The fifth test expanded the envelope, demonstrated advanced control systems, made SpaceX closer to a fully reliable, reusable spacecraft. These attainments support Musk's dreams and allow to believe that is already bolding threshold for interplanetary movements. What can we expect in the future what the fifth test proves? Why does the fifth test show selection? Also first, it gives the first confidence in believing that Starship is destined to change current paradigms of space travel. Every single flight brings closer these major tasks. The Raptor engines are advancing in integration and maturity, the aerodynamics are proved to be very robust, and the constant cycle method is obviously helping. Future targets. If we look ahead, the subsequent targets for Starship are key in determining the success of the mission. SpaceX will progress in perfecting the landing system more than anything else, conduct successful tests on the orbits, and then develop and incorporate the heat shielding during the re-entry phase. Of course, Musk's plans with consideration of sending people to Mars by mid-2020 are too optimistic. But the development in the activities leading to that is encouraging that such plans can be realized within the next 10 years. This test also adds to the number of ties that NASA and SpaceX has in addition to their commercial partners. As for instance, for the human landing system for the Artemis program. The developments in the Starship are not just a victory for Musk only, but for the entire space community that is planning on expansion. Every test, every delay, and every success takes humanity one step closer to actually becoming a space-empired species. Starship is not simply a rocket. It is an example of what can be achieved when there is ambition, and thus there is innovation. Even better, as we follow the story of internal flights for every new rocket, we are seeing new pages of history being written. All in all, the fifth test flight for the Starship ultimately gave an insight of the elaborate processes accompanying Elon Musk's ambitious timeline as well as the opportunities. While the flight did not exactly fit the template that some experts had carved, the flight achieved new milestones in reusability, flight controls, and performance at high altitudes that all are critical in making sure that the Starship is indeed the vehicle that will take us to Mars and other planets. This, however, was more than just a technical test. It was an insight into the very near future of space exploration. Do you find Starship to be progressing to fulfill the aspirations that Elon Musk has? Do leave your responses in the comment sections. This video has been done, the breakdown was done interestingly, so be sure to like and subscribe for more space content. When something is important enough, you do it, even if the odds are not in your favor. Starship will be the interceptor of worlds. If you dream big, nothing is impossible. The journey to Mars may still have hurdles, but with every test we can say we are that much closer to consistency in making the impossible possible. Starship is a supporter of Earth citizens' colonization in space. It's not only about exploitation of resources,